How are you, boys and girls? Welcome to the Going Down Under podcast. I'm your host, Braam Hein, creating koala on all social media platforms, and here we'll be deep diving on all things health and wellness related. Hopefully, damn, why am I out of breath? Hopefully you are doing fantastic. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. On to episode 34. Here we go. I want to try something new today, so I want to get through things a lot quicker. I don't want to be blabbering on too much, so I'll try to make this episode a little bit shorter. So then we'll see how that turns out. If it doesn't turn out well, then I won't do it again. But today, I'm going to go over the most overlooked factors that sabotage muscle growth, or don't help muscle growth. Better is terminology, I guess. We'll go over 5 things. I'm going to cycle through them quite quickly, but hopefully you get something from this episode, and hopefully it's not too much, and hopefully it's not too long either, to where you can kind of narrow things down a little bit better. So the first one is not eating enough. So obviously to build muscle, you need to be eating enough food. That might sound pretty self-explanatory, but some people try to do the opposite of where they try to take too much food away or try to eat too healthy in terms of eating and feeling better, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but in terms of muscle growth, you need to be eating sufficient calories. So you can build muscle in a deficit. Not too big of a deficit though. You need to be in just a slight deficit. That's kind of the optimal range for still being able to lose weight and also build muscle. And then also eating at maintenance or slightly above in any form of surplus will definitely aid in muscle growth if you are training with intent. So yes, you can build muscle while being in a deficit, but if you are in too heavy of a deficit, then the two factors aren't aligning together. Like you're not giving your body sufficient energy to be able to supply it to the muscle to grow. So you can't have two counteractive things going at the same time. But most likely eating at maintenance or in a slight surplus will help with building muscle. The second thing I want to talk about is sleep. So not sleeping enough or not prioritizing your sleep. Not getting good enough sleep. You aren't getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Then that will definitely hinder muscle growth because you aren't able to recover and your body is just going to keep crumbling down, and it's going to eventually just break. You're going to get injured, you're not going to feel great, and then it's just going to be a whole shit show and shebang. The most muscle recovery happens muscle building happens when we're recovering. So the actual muscle tears, muscle growth happen days after the actual muscle tears happen. So prioritizing sleep, getting 7 to 9 hours. Anything under that occasionally is okay, but staying within that range for 95% of your days will be the most ideal. The third thing, not training with enough intent. So that means not going through the motions through your workouts, actually trying to feel the muscle with mind muscle connection, that kind of thing. Training each set and each workload with purpose. So your sets of back squat, your sets of bench, sets of lateral raises, whatever they are. If you aren't trying to hone in what it's actually trying to do, then it can impact your overall gains. Will you get some gains? Yes, of course, because you're still working the muscles. But if you aren't working them with the most intent possible, then that can hinder some of your muscle growth standards, right? That kind of leads into the next thing of not progressively overloading. Muscle growth is guaranteed if you are progressively overloading. If you are doing more sets, more reps of the same weight, that means you got stronger, which means the muscle belly and the muscle spindles have to have grown. There has to be more of them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do that. So if you're able to progressively overload with either sets, reps, volume, intensity, tempo, or just weight in general, then you will have muscle growth. If you are sticking at the same rep ranges and you're staying at the same weights, nothing's going to grow. It's going to look the same. So progressive overload is king in terms of muscle growth. And the last one, kind of an underlooked one, is being too stressed. So high cortisol, when people talk about that and being too stressed and all that kind of stuff, can impact muscle growth because if your body is trying to stop itself and calm it down, then it's taking away from factors that do influence muscle growth. Your other hormones and your stress hormones heavily impact your muscle building hormones like testosterone and IGF-1 and HGH, which are naturally occurring things in your body. These are impacted by stress hormones. So if you are too stressed for too long, or if you're in a stressful environment and worrying about so many things, then that will definitely impact your muscle growth. So trying to eliminate that as much as possible through forms of like meditation or doing things you like on a daily basis, or removing stresses from your life, whether it be people you just don't like talking to, that you are talking to, that will help aid you in your muscle growth. Because if you don't have the stresses, then your body's able to do what it needs to do when it needs to do it, which is, if you're trying to build muscle, build muscle. And that's the end of that. Hopefully that was a quick kind of summary of some things that can impact muscle growth. And hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know if you enjoyed these quicker videos. I just wanted to get something out there that wasn't too insanely in depth like I usually do, or just kind of, I don't know about in depth, but just blabbering on. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, let me know. I'll do more of these, maybe like once every 2-3 episodes. And then if you guys really like it, then I'll do it every episode. So let me know if you like it. I'm gonna go now. You should go now too, because if you don't go and stay, if you want to stay and watch some more videos, go for it, dude. And then after that, watch some more videos, and then I'll be back next week. You know what I'm saying? So you do what you want. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna turn off the camera and go do my laundry. I think is what I'm doing next. No, I'm gonna do my dishes. Nice. See, I do my dishes. I do my chores. But I'll see you next week for next week's episode 35. Which is not to say, but hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll see you later.